So there's this new story out of The Intercept about ICE going through social media, actually hiring, these subcontractors whose job it's going to be. We're going to comb through social media and we're going to find all of these people making threats against ICE, which you shouldn't be threatening government officials. You shouldn't be threatening government agencies or buildings. It seems like, that's okay. We're fine with that. But it goes a little bit further because buried deep into these, kind of contracts they've got is, oh, by the way, we're also going to need you to go through and just find people who don't like ICE and assemble these profiles of them.
Okay, here's the way I see this story. As you know, I've tried to cut it down the middle and it pisses everybody off, but I'm going to piss them off one more time. ICE has a problem in that some of their people really are targets. Take a look at what the cartels did in Mexico. They started with social media. They'd find a reporter, a judge with the most innocuous criticism, by the way, about ICE. Next thing you know, they've cut off their head. It's hanging on an overpass. So there's good precedent for this because, they really do have assassins. And so if I'm working for ICE and I'm making these Holman, for example, my God, I hope that guy's got good security. So I don't see this as a problem. Now, let me also point out, Biden signed off to the Giant Oak deal. The Giant Oak is the company that does this. It started all the way back to them. Now, Trump may be putting it on steroids. I don't know. That might be your point, right?
Yeah, well, what they're doing right now is it goes beyond just identifying threats. If you get on social media and you're calling for a threat of violence against ICE agents or, government buildings, I get it. That's not allowed. I have no problem with investigations being launched because of that. Because, you have to make sure that these folks are not actually going to hurt someone. But it goes deeper because in these contracts they've got, and this is where The Intercept really kind of gets into the heart of it, it also says, oh, by the way, contractors who are doing this for us, we need you to adopt this machine learning, AI, and start targeting people who have just expressed negative sentiments about ICE. Basically saying that, okay, if somebody gets on Twitter and says, man, ICE sucks, then that machine picks it up, gives all of their data to ICE, and then they make a profile of them, profiles that have social security numbers, home addresses, lists of all family members, pictures so that they can do facial recognition.
Pictures of the front of the house, where the property is.
So we went from you're targeting speech that really is not protected, the threats of, we're going to come and do something horrible to you, to just people expressing constitutionally acceptable speech, which is, man, I don't like these folks.
Okay, we've done stories in the past where you have Secret Service does it, believe it or not. Secret Service does it. You've got several organizations in the United States that do that, including, oh, by the way, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Now, the point here is, I think this is, I love The Intercept. This was an overreaction. I think it is pitiful overreaction. Although they did not express the points that you just made as well as they should have in that article.
Right, it was a little too short there. It was about 2 paragraphs.
I do buy into what you're saying. But this isn't like, this is unheard of. Intercept, my God, it was like, this is something revolutionary. It's not. And I guess if you're going to say, can we do it to protect other government agencies? Yeah, we do it all the time. This is just, it's like red meat. We see a lot of red meat stories. But I really do believe what you're saying is where it evolves to if we're not careful. And that's with all of these agencies doing this.
Right, and that's always like we talk about the slippery slope.
Right.
Yes, we've got to go after the people that are doing the bad, wrong, illegal things, absolutely. But then we're going to rope in a couple other people that are doing things that are not illegal at all, but maybe they'll do something illegal in the future, so we need to keep an eye on them. It's Big Brother type stuff. Like, let's watch them. Let's make these dossiers, because then we've got them.
You know, before marijuana was legal almost everywhere, they got a lot of pot smokers doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And it was like they're their damn living room of their house before they know it. You got a point here. I just think Intercept took this and made it a red meat story. I think it's overdone.